Podcast. My name is Jason Arriola, and joining me today is John Lucero.
Hello.
And Luke Maxwell.
Back again.
Back time. Whatever the hell that means. Anyway, we're going to try another abbreviated podcast here because it's the NFL season, and I don't want to keep John away from football because he's got, as we said last week, football stuff to do. So
Always.
Yeah. All right. So
stuff.
You have been playing. God, I already forgot. We just talked about it 30 seconds ago.
Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Z. Yeah.
Z.
The exact pronunciation, I don't think any of us are perfectly clear on, but
FighterZ.
Yeah, FighterZ.
Yeah,
FighterZ.
That's Anyway,
Yeah.
why don't you talk about that beta a little bit here? I'm kind of curious how that's.
Yeah. They ran their closed beta. It's yesterday, which was Saturday, and we're recording this on Sunday. They have one more session scheduled for right after we're done with this podcast, actually.
So is it kind of like a Nintendo demo where it's certain times?
Yeah, they are 3-hour blocks though, so it's a little more forgiving than Nintendo's 1-hour sessions that they would do.
Yeah.
So, they're testing out servers and different server capacities and stuff. So I can understand the reasoning behind it. It is a little annoying that you can't just play it whenever you want to, but
gee, I can't understand why.
Yeah, whatever. So I played one. I got in one session and I played a good handful of matches. I am a lifelong Dragon Ball fan, so I'm always interested to see what they do with the property.
John, who's your favorite Dragon Ball?
My favorite Dragon Ball is the 4-star ball.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I like him too.
Yeah, I was going to go with the fifth
right?
one personally.
It's the 4-star ball.
Yeah.
Is Goku's grandpa.
Yes.
Yeah. I was being facetious. I'm also a big Dragon Ball guy, and this game, very exciting to me. It looks really, really great. And I'm choking up a little talking about it.
Just how beautiful it is. I can understand. It
certainly does look gorgeous. Didn't they just announce like Yamcha and somebody today?
Tien. Yeah,
Tien.
so Yamcha, Tien, and Android 21, which is a new original character for the game. Oh, okay. They said she'll be part of the story. They didn't say if she'll be playable. I'm assuming she'll be playable.
Yeah.
But,
what no Chiaotzu?
Like
Chiaotzu is actually an assist character for Tien.
Okay, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That little clown weird fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a little doll. He's a Chinese doll. Is what he's supposed to be, like a little prince. What's the buzz with the gameplay? Does it play more like a Guilty Gear? Is it more Capcom-y? Is it sort of, quarter circle motions?
I will say it is a little more accessible than Guilty Gear is. I think it's probably somewhere in the middle of those two.
I was gonna say that is any range of any other fighting game.
The most recent Guilty Gear had an automatic option in it.
Okay.
Control option. So and automatic's a little misnomer, I guess. It's just easier to pull off combos. They do less damage, but it's easier to do cool shit.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So if you do like jab, you do a little auto combo. That'll launch them in the air or whatever, and then you can do another. Yeah, they've been doing that with a few fighting games recently. The new Marvel vs. Capcom has that as well, that auto combo feature.
Yeah. I am a fan of that, at least for getting into a game. Once you master the actual combo, you'll be much better, and people that actually do that will dominate you online.
Absolutely.
These are so it's not. It doesn't promote button mashing as much. It probably will early on, but fighting games are kind of all like that early on.
Yeah.
But
it was the same with the new King of Fighters when that came out. That had an auto combo, and you saw it for a lot initially with people, but it can supplement bigger chains, which is nice, and it's good for the casual players. It's at least not as insulting as I don't know if you guys remember on the GameCube they had the SNK versus Capcom versus SNK 2 had on the C stick you could do everything.
Yeah, I think they had that on the Xbox as well.
Yeah, pretty dumb, but fun.
I was not aware of that. I did not play that version. I think
I think that was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that before, because I remember going on Xbox Live and I think they actually had it separated out where people who were using the EO, you could filter them out, if I'm recalling correctly. But I mean, cool. It's been 10 plus years since I've done that, so who knows?
John, can I ask a question? Have you played at all the homebrew game Hyper Dragon Ball Z?
I have very little of it. I know exactly what you're talking about, but
how does this compare to that? I mean, there obviously Hyper DBZ is based around your CPS2 style fighting game, so it's closer to a Capcom game. Is it anything like that? I really enjoyed that homebrew game.
Yeah, because it's 3-on-3 fighting, so you're constantly throwing in assists and switching between characters and whatnot. So yeah, it's definitely like that. I like the art style more in this one. The other one's more of a classic, like was it pixelated a little bit? Like I forget what. This one, it's got the Guilty Gear Xrd engine in it, which is like a 3D engine on a 2D, like a 2D fighter with a 3D engine. It's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah, everything looks phenomenal. You're doing normal 2D fighting stuff, and then I remember Guilty Gear blew my mind. You know, you're doing regular 2D shit, and then you pull off a special move, and the camera will swoop to a different direction. You'd be like, whoa, it's like magic every time.
Yeah, and it really helps with Dragon Ball Z because it when Vegeta does like his final flash, it will zoom in on his face. It'll show him charging it up, and it makes sense in this fighting game because all the super moves have a lot of animation to them. So it blends Dragon Ball Z really seamlessly in with the Guilty Gear engine, and everyone controls great. The combos are fun to pull off. It's like I said, it's fucking gorgeous, and it's really exciting. I'm also excited that they're doing an original storyline because I've played a lot of Dragon Ball Z games, and I've watched that show too many times. So I've been through that story once or twice in my life. So I always that's what I liked about Xenoverse was in its original storyline. It was all right as a storyline, but I just appreciated not knowing what was going to happen.
Yeah, it's interesting because with Xenoverse, a lot of the stuff they did with it was the story aspects from Dragon Ball Online. Once that closed down, they took all of that material which Akira Toriyama had worked on and brought it into Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2. Games I haven't played. I might pick it up for the Switcheroo when it comes out.
I was going to do the same thing with Xenoverse 2. I'm kind of thinking about getting it for the Switch because I never played it after when it first released.
Although it's insulting, right? Because you go on Steam this weekend, they're having a Namco Bandai sale, and you can get both the Xenoverse games for like 30 quid together in a bundle. And then you think with if you look on the Switch eShop, the prices are insane for things, especially in Europe. It's like €70 for
everything's more expensive on the Switch.
Very strange. Yeah. Very strange indeed.
Yeah, sales on the Switch are pretty rare. I mean, Nintendo's, doesn't matter what developer or publisher puts it out, or stuff on the Switch tends to not, or just Nintendo.
Yeah, it was the same with the very often. Yeah, it was the same with the 3DS, right, Jason? I mean, I remember there was one good deal I got on the 3DS was one weekend you could get SMT4, not Apocalypse, the regular SMT4. For €10, and I was like, wow, that's a deal. And then I didn't end up really playing too much of it because it was really, really hard. It was a difficult game, and that was tough.
This game also uses, if you played Xrd, it uses I don't know if they use it in any other game, the lobby system they have, which is like you run around as a chibi character model, and you run. It's like it's just a fancier menu option. It's like a social space in a way. So it's.
Can you kick a football?
No, it's not Destiny. You can't just kick balls around. So
that's too bad.
Unfortunately, but you just and then right in the center is the arena, which is just like basically the quick fight option, and you just see a bunch of chibi characters in there punching each other while other people wait on the outside waiting to get in. Huh. So great. it's just nice touches like that, and all the Saiyans seem to start out in Super Saiyan or higher. So there is no Goku does have a Super Saiyan 3 Super that he can charge up to for like a Dark Phoenix kind of situation.
Right.
So it seems like they're going to go that direction with it.
Yeah. Can you go blue?
I think the Blue Saiyans are separate characters.
All right. And what about Super Saiyan 4? Can you go Super Saiyan 4?
I don't think so.
I don't think his hair goes black again or something.
His hair goes kind of blacky green, and he's got covered in fur.
Yeah, the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyans I've not seen in the game, and they weren't in the beta. I think they got announced for the game. I feel like
it is getting crazy out there with Saiyan forms. Like I don't know if you guys are keeping up with Dragon Ball Super.
No,
probably
not. I am right after the movies. Kind of, I've seen a few episodes where it starts to get original, but I've not quite caught up with everything yet.
Folks have all sorts of hair now. Like everyone's got different hair. It's crazy. It's like it's when you go to those old lady hairdressers and they have the rinses put in. That's what's going on in Dragon Ball at the moment. People are getting pink and blue and green and all sorts of crazy colors put in there.
Is Krillin still bald?
No. Wait, yes.
He's gone back to being bald.
Yeah.
After.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. When he started dating one of the androids, he grew his hair out or whatever.
And he grew a nose as well. It was weird.
Married her and has a kid with her now. But, she's in the game. She is 17 as an assist character with her, and but those assist supers with her and 17 are pretty fucking great. It's just like as a fan of the series, there's so many nods and with all the different attacks and stuff. It's fantastic. I'm looking forward to playing more of it. I don't know if I'm ever going to get super good at it. I just appreciate that I don't have to be crazy good at it to pull off cool things.
Mm-hmm.
And
they could not have picked a better studio, I think, to do this, except for maybe if it was a different type of game. Obviously, the dream Dragon Ball game would be Cyber Connect 2 make an Azura's Wrath sequel that's secretly a Dragon Ball game. That would be pretty good.
I love Azura's Wrath. But
that was a great yoke, and that would be perfect Dragon Ball fodder. But I think that ArcSys are probably the best company to make this, because I don't know what Capcom's getting up to. I saw that Street Fighter 4 was on sale in one of the local shops here, one of the brick and mortar shops, and I bought a copy of Street Fighter 4 for the PS4. I previously had it on the PC.
I have Ultra for the PS4 also, I think. I have Ultra.
Like, what is going on at Capcom? You put in that game, it downloads a massive patch. It's like 11 gig patch. And then you start it up, and it's like, oh, we've got our own patching system that needs to download a thing. You won't be able to play online for another 4 hours. And it's just, that game's a shambles, that Street Fighter 5. So I don't want to give Dragon Ball to Capcom, because they'd mess it up.
Yeah, I think Arc System is doing a bang up job with this game. I can't wait. I think it comes out beginning of the year next year. When I don't remember what the date is. It's
a good time, I think, probably to bring it out. January, February. Kind of area. That's a nice time for fighting.
Yeah. Just a small thing. I hope. I don't know if they said this, but I kind of hope the English voices are in the final game. I don't know if they said they will be or not.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with you, because honestly, that's what turns me off from watching.
You don't like that old lady screaming?
No.
No, I don't. I feel like there are two animes that you need to have the English voices in, and that's Dragon Ball Z and Cowboy Bebop. Bebop's more of a personal choice, but I think
I'd say that's fair. I think with Dragon Ball, I would like them to do the English dub, but only if they get that weird Singapore English dub, the Blue Ocean one.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Vegeta's got a hell of a voice on that one.
Yeah, where Vegeta's this British guy, and it's great.
It's a bad dub.
That one I enjoy a great deal. They should bring that in for DLC. I know with they did some Team 4-Star stuff with Xenoverse, so I'd be interested to see those guys get a look at it as well.
They do great work. That show, their bridge stuff is wonderful.
It's funny stuff for sure.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's the Fighters beta. Other than that, more Destiny review on the site coming this week.
Yeah, it'll be up by the time it should be up by the
time what do you leave? Can you give us a little sum up your thoughts on Destiny with a sound?
He did last week.
Oh, he did. There you go. Oh, that's it. Well, I'm going to sum up my thoughts on Destiny 2 with a sound. Okay, here we go.
Oh, okay.
That's how I feel about Destiny 2. Right. There you go. But I'll look forward to reading your review.
Let's see. I'll sum up mine with the sound now.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good. That's funny. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Go play your Ys boy.
I certainly will.
Jeez, boy, got him.
Yeah. Yeah. Go back to the lonely island, Adol Christian.
Certainly not that lonely. There's plenty of people there to not.
There's
stop
loads
talking.
of people and monsters and everything. And
Yeah.
that guy, you do not give out any sort of policy, insurance or otherwise, to that guy if he's renting a ship.
No, you don't let him on a ship.
Because-
Plain and simple.
Yeah, he messes those up. He's cursed, that fella.
Yeah, you let him on. I mean, there's been one time I think he's made it safely on or from a ship, and that was Ys VII, and then they still threw a shipwreck thing in there eventually at some point. It's like, oh,
That's right. Yeah.
yeah. I remember when I
the
played
last
that, I
one
was
I
like, oh wow,
finished-
they kind of threw me for a loop on that one, and then like a few hours in, you're like, oh hey, there I am. I'm washed up on shore.
The last
Okay,
one I
cool.
did was The Oath in Falgana. That was a great one. Really loved that. Excited to try 8. 8 is more like 7, is that right? It's more in the style of 7.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
faster, switching between guys. Okay.
It's really fast. That's kind of what I really love about it.
How's the flash guarding?
How is it?
How is it? Is it?
It's
it
good.
good?
I mean, it's as far as like timing goes, it's not as say demanding as like a Dark Souls thing, but
Yeah.
yeah, because I can pull it off. So if I
Yeah.
I should tell you that. So
Okay.
I mean, so it's doable.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's doable. Yeah, it's still tricky, and yeah, it's if you put that thing on anything above normal, you can be in for a rough time. I was talking to somebody who was playing it just on normal, or the demo on normal was having a hard time with it, and it's not easy, but it's when you put it on normal, it's certainly enough of a challenge where I think even the most, I don't know. Yeah, unless your skills have completely atrophied as far as reactionary stuff goes, I think normal's a good challenge without actually adding like.
I like the way if you die
impossibility
a
to
lot
it.
in these games, it will always give you the option to like turn it down for that boss.
Mm-hmm.
You can go down a level, and it sort of gets insulting after a while because in Oath and Falgana, as far as I can remember, what it would do is it would unlock easier options the worse you did. So even if you went down to easy, it would then unlock very easy and then like very, very easy.
Yeah.
Eventually.
If I recall correctly, if you start Ys or Oath in Falgana with easy, the achievement is called Adol the Yellow.
Not bad.
So I thought that was a nice little piece of
bad at
business.
all.
So anyway, Luke, why don't you go ahead and talk about Dragon Quest XI?
Yeah, from one Akira Toriyama joint to another with Dragon Quest XI, and this is the game of games because not only is it one Dragon Quest game, it's 3 Dragon Quest games.
You know, I
And it's
just realized
amazing to me.
all 3 of the games we've talked about here have been pretty much all real anime influence
Yeah.
in one way or another.
Well, we're huge anime fans here, Jason. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Love anime.
I love my waifu.
That's a good Chris Rock movie, is it not? You seen that one? Love my wife. I think Louis C.K. wrote that. Anyway,
Didn't you write most of Chris Rock's like better bits?
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyhow, let me see now. So, Dragon Quest, it's the game of games. Covered that already. It's amazing to me that the people behind this series, your Yuji Hori's, your Akira Toriyama, still have such passion for the series. And, you know, it's great to see this an anniversary year, 30th anniversary. They've made a Dragon Quest game that's up there with the best of them. It's up there with 5. It's up there with 3, for sure, with 8. A really, really fantastic game presentation-wise on the PS4. It looks great. Amazing stuff. Some really beautiful visuals, and the monster animations and everything are sumptuous. And then on the 3DS, you have these 2 different perspectives. You can play the game in 2D mode, and it looks like SNES Dragon Quest. And then you can play it in 3D, and it looks a little bit more in line with your 3DS
versions, right?
Yeah, DS games or 3DS remakes of Dragon Quest. And on top of that, in the 3DS version, you can also travel to different games to solve little problems as part of the Street Pass function. And in that, it mimics whatever style, art style of game you're going to. So it really is an amazing package, and you can see all the love and care that's put into every detail because it's the same game essentially across all 3 styles. You know, it's the same writing, You're hitting the same things most of the time. You know, the fields look a little bit different, obviously, but most of the action is the same. And I've really been loving it. I'm about I finished the main game on the PS4, good ways through the game on the 3DS, and yeah, it's just great. Really fantastic characters. They play a lot with the I suppose the stuff that you're familiar with Dragon Quest, and so a lot of the characters are cut from similar cloth to characters you're familiar with, but they do spins on them. And the same with the story, where you can see nods to different entries in the series, but they mix up some of the scenarios. And I've really had a great time with it. It's been a fantastic game. I'm interested to see how the Nintendo Switch version is handled. I would ideally like to see all three versions rolled into one with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know how feasible that is, or if it's redundant to put the 3DS version in the game if you already have the PS4 3D version. You know, it might feel a little bit.
I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking it's going to be the PS4 version, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know if Nintendo wants to, we'll say, cross-contaminate with their own platforms.
Perhaps not. Yeah, and it's coming out next year in English. I am curious to see how they handle some of the story, because some of it is very, let's say, like, it makes sense to how Japanese people read different peoples and cultures. Maybe not so much here. And so there are some characters in the game. There's one character in particular, Sylvia, who's this effeminate jester type of character, and just gonna see how that all turns out. I think it's going to be
so we can wait for a whole bunch of Polygon articles to come up on that.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think that, you know, if anyone can handle it well, it's the Dragon Quest series, which, you know, oftentimes does a good job on everything and is always of a high quality. And 11 is no different. So definitely check it out.
All right.
Yeah, that's one I'm definitely going to be getting. I'm debating on PS4 or Switch, but depending on, I guess we'll say window wise as far as the differences in the releases, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna get it on the 3DS for sure, just because I want the whole package, I guess. So it just comes down to like what's on the Switch. If the Switch ends up
I wonder.
closer to
I just wonder if the 3DS one will come out at all. That's my main.
That's true. Yeah.
Worry with it, but I'd really like to see it come out, because I think it would be a shame not to see all three visual representations in one. I'm going to run. I'm afraid, fellas, because I have to help my dog in from the car. But I may jump back on the call later if you don't mind. And, you know, it's been a pleasure.
All right, Luke. It was good talking to you, man.
All right. Good talking to you, man.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
All right, well, that's a good natural break there for the news section. So why don't we go ahead and jump over to that?
All right.
So, unless you had any questions about Ys VIII there.
No. I think I'm gonna play it if there's a break in game, maybe November-ish.
Yeah, download the demo at least.
Yeah. Because I'll be playing Destiny for a while. And then that Wolfenstein Mario day is gonna be a busy one. Yeah.
You know, okay, well, we'll get to that when we get to the news there. So, real quick, let's go down the stuff that didn't go on in the Nintendo Direct there. Dragon's Crown looked like it got leaked for the PS4, so the port generation continues. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
you know, I didn't play it originally.
I wasn't overly impressed with it personally. I mean, it was a fun brawler, but there's only so much you can do with that genre. It doesn't matter how many RPG elements you throw into it.
The Vanillaware that did that?
Yeah.
I have liked some of their games and not liked other games. I feel like they're hit and miss. They did Muramasa, correct?
Yeah, I like Muramasa a lot.
I like Muramasa. I wanted to try the remake of Odin Sphere that came out last year. Haven't
Odin Sphere, like whatever.
Lift Riser. I don't know. I wanted because I hear that it was a really good improvement upon the original one.
Mm-hmm.
And their games are really good looking. That always a good art direction will always get my attention. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It just sometimes I think like my issue with the Vanillaware games is they look better in stills, I think, than they do in practice. It just depends on how well they animate. Like Muramasa was very well animated, but like when I was playing Dragon's Crown, it sort of had that. I think I've mentioned it before, but that weird sort of like puppet marionette type feeling to it, where the arms just moved very oddly and the legs move very oddly. So I could be misremembering because it's been a few years since I played it, and it just sort of bounced off it pretty quickly. But I mean, really, the only brawler type thing like that really ever sticks with me is like the Kunio-kun River City Ransom games. So.
Yeah, I'm not a big brawler guy in general. I don't really like them, but I feel like we're like the biggest fans of Muramasa on the planet sometimes. I always remember that me and you really like Muramasa, and no one ever talks about Muramasa.
Yeah, I mean, I've got it on I still have my Wii version, so.
I play the shit. I got both endings on the Vita. I got like the true ending with it.
Yeah. I got that collector's edition. That was actually like I think like my birthday present, like when it first came out, was that collector's edition, because I was just like, I want this game again. Because
really.
Yeah,
it looks really good, and it plays pretty well. I mean, it's got some serious backtracking issues, but whatever.
Yeah, yeah, that's something aside. So anyway, and I guess the other bit of news was, oh god, that PewDiePie motherfucker just, ooh boy, I don't know. In case you have been living under a rock, he slipped up. He said with calling somebody the. Well, I won't even. Yeah, let's just say a derogatory term for a.
He called it the heat
person.
Of the moment.
Yeah,
and he used that term in the heat of the moment.
Yeah. That's I don't know. I think that thing sort of, if that slips out of your mouth, that kind of gives a little indication as to your character. But
heat of the moment. There are a lot of other mean things you can say in the heat of the moment that would not have anywhere close to the visceral reaction that word gets when you say it.
Yeah,
it's
yeah. I mean,
like
I have. In Rainbow Six, when I was playing Vegas a few times, I would get killed by some like random terrorist doing a terrorist hunt or whatever. Like, you fucking fuck, but you know what? That stuff slipped out of my mouth, but never any sort of racial stuff. So
I call people motherfucker as a term of endearment occasionally. Mm-hmm. And like that is a vile thing to call someone when you get down to it. And it's just a word at this point. I feel like that should help put in perspective why, like, just how awful what he said was.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that upset me more about the situation was I already kind of got this impression of PewDiePie from other things he's done in the past. It was more like the reaction around it upset me. Instead of people just saying like, all you have to do is like, hey, dude, what the fuck? Don't say that. That's like that's enough reaction right there, because I mean. You don't have to sit down and have a super conversation with it. Like that. You don't say that. That's just how it is.
Yeah. I don't think we need a fucking think piece in 2017 if there's any way that you should be like giving anybody a pass on using that word. It's like no, it's wrong and you shouldn't say it. Plain and simple.
Like there's so many other words to use. Like you can that are get the point across.
Yeah.
And the fact that he corrected himself by saying I meant asshole. Should also give you an idea of what as to what that word might mean in his head. So, and then I think like a couple days later, like I wouldn't have caught it, but like Andrew Reiner from Game Informer tweeted that he slipped up, again like a couple days later or whatever after his apology, and Reiner was just like, hey, maybe you should stop streaming, maybe, possibly. It's like it's just, it's just that people like. Trying to defend him and saying that it's people you hear that word online all the time, and you do. I'm not even let's be real. I've heard that word many times playing Call of Duty and the like. It doesn't make it okay. Like, it doesn't make, certainly not. Especially and he has 57 million subscribers, like an insane amount of subscribers.
Yeah,
and he is at work, and as far as I'm concerned, he's at work. Mm-hmm. Like, you should be professional.
Yeah. I mean, if I say anything remotely offensive, like, sometimes like I having worked in retail as long as I, even saying crap in front of customers is, not looked kindly upon, but most of the time it's like, hey, just watch it. If I let out with a racial epithet, goodbye. That's it.
Yeah, you're fired. You're probably fired.
Collect your paycheck, and when it's available to you, but you won't be finishing out the shift. See you later.
Yeah, it's like there's not much else to say. It's just, come on, people.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the only thing I knew about him really was this book I had seen on the shelves. It was a fan book, and it was just a picture of like fists and a duck. And like I said, the only thing I could extrapolate from that is he's into fisting ducks. I don't know. So, and given everything that's gone on, that might be the least offensive thing he's into. So who knows? But anyway, let's move on from that to happier news, I suppose. There was a Nintendo Direct that happened, and man, there was a lot of shit in this thing that went down. So there's even some stuff that didn't. I don't think was in the Direct itself, but got covered like afterwards. So maybe I missed it. And I don't know. I was kind of skimming through it at work. Let's see. So Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon. There's going to be basically new versions of the two legendaries from Pokemon Sun and Moon.
I saw them. Was not impressed by the design of either one of them.
No, I wasn't particularly either. But I mean, there's enough. I don't know. Like I have every single DS and 3DS Pokemon up to this one, so I'm gonna get both of these again anyway. I've already got the pre-order or the Steel dual pack pre-ordered on Amazon anyway. So
the Switch for Pokemon, I'm very curious about what direction they're going to take that in.
Yeah, I'm wondering what that's going to end up being, because that's if that ends up being like the next like main, I guess, line Pokemon game, like that's got me pretty excited, because it's like, oh man, I can finally play this on the TV. Like I would have been fine with just Pokemon Sun and Moon ports, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I would have too, because I haven't played either one, but I would happily, like I said, Switch is a great place for long RPGs. It's a really good place for that.
Yep. So. Let's see. If you're interested, there is, Celebi. If you pre-order, I think just buy within a certain amount of time, gold or silver on the 3DS Virtual Console, you will get a Celebi for free. You can either use in gold and silver or send it to Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Moon. My question is if I buy both, am I going to get two? Because I'm going to buy both, because that's just the way I do Pokemon. I just buy both versions, even though I typically only play one. So
I feel like you probably would if they're separate orders.
Yeah, I would imagine so, because then I'd be like, okay, well, I'll keep one in like one of these things, and then I'll keep the other there. And of course, I'm sure the trading system is just like it was in Red and Blue, where they touted, you can trade wirelessly, not really. Putting a big stamp on it that means local wirelessly, not through the internet, because Gore and I were like, hey, how do we find each other doing this? And we're like, oh, you motherfuckers. We were going to trade. And then I was like, oh, okay, great. So, and there's also a Pokeball looking 2DS XL that's coming out. So,
oh yeah.
I'm gonna take a pass on that one. So.
And an orange one too. I think they announced just
that creamsicle one. Yeah, that one's out in Japan already, I think, and I think they announced that it's coming out in the West. And if I was in the market for one, I might get that creamsicle looking one. I think it's kind of cool looking. So.
I kind of liked it. I'm usually not a big orange guy, but I kind of dig it. So.
I don't know if it's just, I don't know what it is. As I've gotten older, like I've gotten into like yellow and orange as colors. I don't know why. It's weird. Like my both my the Joy-Cons I use are the bright yellow ones. Yeah, most of my like Bose headphones I use are the little, or the earbuds or whatever. They're orange or bright yellow. I don't know what the fuck it is. As I've gotten older, it's just been like, oh, hey, I like this stuff more. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just my vision's going as I'm getting older, and I just like bright colors. So I can find myself. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of 3DS stuff, Minecraft is coming, or actually is available now on the new 3DS. So if we talked about Minecraft last week, so if that's your jam, then the new 3DS is the only system you have, and there you go. I don't know.
Yeah, if that's your jam, it's finally on every system ever.
Yeah. So well, it has to be new 3DS or new 2DS. Yeah. So
they're in an office right now, clapping hands, saying, "We did it." It's like Houston.
Wait a second. Is it on the Switch?
Minecraft, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. It's I've gone through.
I think it's the best-selling game on the Switch.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say I've gone through the eShop multiple times, and I think it just in my brain, like I just skim right over anything like the word Minecraft. You're just like goodbye. Like my brain just does not intake the word. So Anyway, Mario Party Top 100 coming to 3DS. If I'm remembering right, this only takes the games that have been on like consoles. It doesn't actually take the portable ones.
Yeah, and I'm assuming it won't use any of the Wii ones because that's motion control, right?
Yeah, which I don't know. It's weird. It just so if
it's also the idea that there's 100 good Mario Party mini games. It's pretty crazy.
I'd be struggling to come up with 10, but there's a I don't know like one option or one thing that they did with this I thought was pretty cool was you can have one cart and then kind of do the share play thing with four people all total.
Oh, cool. That's so more games should do that. I hope games actually copy something from Mario Party for once.
Yeah. Yeah, not the I'm losing, so I can randomly it's like I'm at the bottom of the pile, and then I get some weird random dice roll or whatever the fuck that is, and I end up winning. So it's like, oh great, I spent the last hour playing with you, and it was for nothing. Cool, that's fucking swell. Anyway, they showed off a bit of Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Got a date too, right?
Yeah, December 1st. That is one game. I think it's going to be a podcast game for me. What I saw combat-wise, it didn't really grab me, but at the same time, like when I saw Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii, like it didn't really grab me either until I played it, and then it clicked. So I'm gonna give this one a shot too myself. So.
Yeah, it's coming around that time that I got into Final Fantasy 15 last year. So maybe it might be another RPG I get into at the end of the year. I'm on the again, being on the Switch makes it more appealing. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. That was kind of one thing I wish Ys VIII had available was like cross save between the Vita and the PS4 version. But there's some stuff that's added in the PS4 version that's not in the Vita, so I kind of understand why they couldn't do that. So. Which is fine with me, but anyway, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I'm definitely going to get that one. I've actually, it looked like there was a mistake on Target's website that Wario64 tweeted out about. You can get the collector's edition for $60, so I, instead of $100, so I pre-ordered that over there, so, yeah. Anyway, moving on, Kirby Battle Royale for 3DS, kind of looks like a cute little, like, puzzle, or not puzzle, but like, almost like a Mario Party, like, combat type thing. I don't really know how to describe it, but like I'm digging it enough. I'll probably pick it up. It'll be kind of fun to play with my daughter. So because we're both into Kirby, so
yeah, Kirby's all right.
Yeah, Kirby's a respectable thing. I mean, you got to think as long as Kirby's been around. I think Kirby's going on on his 25th anniversary now.
Yeah, because he was a very late NES game, right? His first one.
Well, his first game was Game Boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know because his thing is always his games released really late in console cycles. Like
what is his name? Pierre Schneider from IGN has joked that you see a Kirby game coming onto a platform, that means the platform is near its end. But
yeah,
there's been this will be the third like retail packaged Kirby game on the 3DS now. So I think we can debunk that one.
Yeah. Robobot. What the fuck you said? Big Robobot.
Yeah, Planet Robobot.
And and then. What's the other one?
Triple Deluxe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was. Those were pretty well received too, right? I haven't played them.
Triple Deluxe was like kind of like middling. I'd say like 3 out of 5 or whatever. But then Robobot seems to have done a little bit better. I actually liked it because it was I don't want to say like challenging, but for a Kirby game it was pretty challenging.
Okay.
I mean it was no. There's nothing that compares to Epic Yarn where it's almost literally impossible to fail that game, but. That game is just adorable, and I think like style wise and just inventiveness kind of makes up for the lack of challenge on that. But anyway, yeah. So that's another Kirby game I'll be picking up there. So let's see. Kind of a surprise announcement here. Hamster's gonna do Arcade Archive on the Switch, but
oh my god,
they're gonna be doing. Oh hey Luke, how's it going, man?
Hey, I'm back for the best part, Hamster.
Yeah, they're gonna be bringing Nintendo's stuff over. There's a couple things they're not bringing over, like Donkey Kong, but I don't know. There's some weird licensing thing I think that thing is hung up in, but whatever. I'm not really that interested in like one level, I guess. The Cement Factory.
Is this a virtual console replacement?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, this is just all those. These games haven't been on any Nintendo console since ever, right? Or since they came out. So.
Yeah, this is the first time any of these have ever really come out. So they even when the Wii did the arcade virtual console, there was no Nintendo stuff. So
yeah, this is like the straight up arcade ports too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, we've got Punch Out versus like the Punch Out is the one that I'm like kind of like that's the one I want to play. The rest of these I could probably live without, but got Verse. I'm gonna go ahead and just say all of these are just throw verse at the beginning of them. I got Super Mario Brothers, or no, not Super Mario Brothers, just Mario Brothers.
Mario Brothers,
yeah. Don't make the mistake of buying this thinking it's a Super Mario Brothers arcade thing. I had a friend who, when Mario Brothers came out on the Wii Virtual Console, bought that and then was pretty disappointed when he realized, oh, this isn't Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, Mario Brothers is a very different game,
Yeah.
and not as good.
Yeah, definitely not. So, Balloon Fight, Ice Climber, Pinball, and Clue Clue Land. So,
the only one I haven't played is Clue Clue Land. I know of its existence. I have no idea what kind of game it is.
I always get it stuck in my head as Choo Choo Rocket for some reason, and I'm like, that's
that
like,
is
that
is a weird ass game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. So moving on from that, let's see. They showed off a bunch of the Zelda Champion Amiibo stuff, which, I mean, I'm gonna try to get them as long as they're not crazy expensive down the line, because just anything Zelda Amiibo related lately has just been a pain in the ass to get a hold of. So I'm gonna wait till the tail falls off on those as far as like price goes, because I think the Sheik Amiibo goes for like $60-something. If you don't think I haven't thought about selling that thing, God, I'm just like, yeah, okay. Let's see, Skyrim for Switch, November 17th. In a rather, like, I don't know about you, John, I was really kind of put aback by this one. Wolfenstein 2 and Doom coming to Switch.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Okay. So
Yay.
this is. I get those games are really okay. Wolfenstein 2 hasn't come out yet, but Doom is a very, very good game.
Yeah, I agree.
I've talked about it a lot. I love Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Doom is fantastic.
I will probably see what it's all about on the Switch. I do not recommend it to anyone. Again, they haven't shown it yet, but I'm going to go right ahead and say I don't recommend this being your first time playing Doom. That game is a beast of a game, just technically.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe the Switch is going to do it justice. I've heard that engine is very flexible. Because id is really good with that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just gonna say I'm also like that game is also crazy violent. So that the idea that it's on a Nintendo thing is
the fact
strange.
that they said the word Nazi on a Nintendo Direct was a little strange. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
That is very weird. But you've got to remember that Wolfenstein and Doom are tied to Nintendo in a big way, right? Because Doom was on the SNES and Super FX, and yet Doom 64, and of course Wolfenstein was on the SNES as well. One of the things that I've heard about Doom and possibly Wolfenstein as well, because they both use id Tech engines, is that the Doom that we're seeing on the Switch is not using strictly the id Tech 6 or whatever we are at now. That it's a custom built version of the game, kind of like what you would see with something like Doom 64 or the Saturn version.
That turned out great.
Yeah,
it's really inspiring confidence.
Doom 64 is good. Doom 64 is real good.
Disagree.
I would recommend people check out Doom EX64, which is a total conversion of Doom 64 to the Doom 2 engine for the PC. And there's a lot to like in Doom 64. It's weird because it's the first Doom that was made with hardware acceleration in mind, so they could do a lot of tricks that you couldn't do on the PC, like fog and more detailed colored lighting and things like that.
Wait a second. Are you saying that there was a 64 game with added fog?
Yep, definitely. And I think it's cool. Fog. I think it's a cool version of Doom because it's like it makes it a different kind of game. It's a little spookier. It's a little bit of a scary game, and it's actually a little bit Turok, which is
gonna make me say I'm gonna skip that to high hell.
Yeah, it's the idea of playing either of those games with the Nintendo 64 controller is...
Yeah, well, that's true enough.
It's offensive to me.
But, the idea of playing anything on a 64 controller anymore is offensive as far as I'm concerned. Like, they've got Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time available on a 3DS. You can play Mario 64 on a virtual console. There is no reason to have one of those things hooked up anymore.
Well, are you not looking forward to the N64 Mini?
Yeah, okay.
Hey, look at this, right? They only put 10 games on there, but that's all you need because there's only 10 games worth of damn.
Well, I can tell you this: it's not going to be hard to find those fucking things versus Super Nintendo and the NES Classic. So
Exactly,
Yeah,
and none of them
yeah.
are rare games except for GoldenEye. That's what I'm saying. None of them are rare games except for GoldenEye. All those
At first,
other
I was like, what do you mean? Oh, rare. I was like, oh, the developer. Yeah, I was
all of them.
the oft loved developer of this podcast and website in general. We all love Rare here, so very much. Because
hey, look, here's something though, right? I think it's cool that we're seeing Bethesda go somewhat all in on Switch. I mean, like Doom, yes, it's a year old, but putting Wolfenstein 2 on there, albeit not this year, but still
next year.
Putting it on there, that's pretty good.
That
Skyrim, Skyrim's on everything anyway.
That leads me to, I think, like what you've said a couple times here, John. Like, the Switch is a good secondary console. I mean, I think just about every Nintendo console has been a good secondary console.
Absolutely.
This kind of proves that, I don't know, maybe this should not be the first choice. I mean, if this is the only possible way you can play these games, I guess, because I don't know, like, I can't see dropping it down from even a PS4 to an Xbox One onto a Switch is gonna, I don't know.
There are crazy people out there, Jason. There are people on the NeoGAF forums who, in that Nintendo Direct thread, were like, "Oh, finally, now I can play Doom. Thank God, now I can care about Wolfenstein." It's like, what is going on in these twisted minds? You know, the website Wii 360 existed for a reason, because you wanted to own the Wii and the 360 at the same time. You know, you didn't want to. It wasn't Wii.com. It was Wii360.com. And now it's Switch.
I mean, the only defense I could think of this is if you're a parent and that's the only console you have, and that's the only like way you could play this was without your kids watching it. But I mean, you know, I would just put my kids to bed and then play in the middle of the night. If that's what's bothering you is your kids seeing the graphic violence of those, it's just like, well, I mean, sorry, be an adult and just deal with only being able to play like an hour or two a day. It's sorry.
Yeah, I am looking forward to the idea of playing Doom in bed. But it's also, I don't know how if it's gonna feel as good on the Switch.
No,
it's a lot of questions.
Did you play it on PC, John?
Unfortunately, no, I did not.
Okay, won't it feel the same as the? I mean, it will look different, obviously, but in terms of the controller setup, it's pretty similar.
On the handheld format, is what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I get what you mean.
Yeah, that's where I'm with you, John. Like, I don't think like taking it like, you know, in handheld mode, I don't know how well that would feel. Like,
because the Pro controller is fine. It's not as good as the PS4 or an Xbox One controller, but it's a decent controller. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it'll be fine on the big screen. But yeah, where I spend most of my time playing Switch is handheld. So that's why I'm curious how it's gonna feel on the handheld version.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move on from that here. Let's see. Project Octopath Traveler gets a demo, and man, I wish they would fucking change the name of that already. I mean, I understand the game's still in development, but you're this far along, you can't possibly come up with just set the name on there. I mean, just
the game looks really good, like visually. I like that look a lot.
I played it a little bit, and man, am I kind of turned off by the voice acting so far. So
I was weirded out when I saw like a clip with the voice acting in it. I didn't expect it. That was. I've heard it's in the storytelling is not quite what I was expecting either. It seems a little more.
I heard about the female's path, and her path sounds kind of dark. So
yeah.
I mean, it's more than just like what like I was playing as like the warrior guy, and he I mean his thing is just like, oh, you know, there was somebody in our army that betrayed us and killed the king, even though he was like a king's like bodyguard or whatever. I'm like, okay, pretty. I don't want to say pretty generic, but it's just like the female's story like seemed interesting enough that I'm like, okay, maybe I'll back out of the version or the guy's path and go check hers out because his seems kind of boring. So
yeah, hers seems interesting because with the like her dance instructor like creeping on her and stuff. So
yeah, kind of sounds like a whole I don't know about a dance instructor. It almost sounds more like a pimp. So.
Yeah, it's but,
wait, you guys lost me. Where did we get to this?
This is the Project Octopath. You know that game?
Sure, yeah. The dance instructor pimp guy. Yeah, I played the I've only played Oberon's chapter so far. I've not yet done Primrose.
Yeah, that's what we were talking. Jason said he's going to go back and maybe try that out because he wasn't too big on the guys section.
How do you guys like the look of that game? I think it looks kind of Yeah.
Looks-wise, I'm feeling that, but it's just like I said, if that voice acting is going to maintain through that, I'm just really hoping there's a Japanese option because I
liked Oberon. He kind of had a little Irish lilt to his voice.
I could not deal with him. He just sounded so like just I don't know. Maybe it's bad direction, but I mean, he just sounded so forced when he was acting.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell.
I think it was probably some placeholder stuff, right? Because it came out so quickly.
I don't know if that's placeholder, man. That seems a little too well produced to be placeholder. So
yeah,
Anyway, okay, so let's move on. There's a bunch of Splatoon. I don't know how you want to say it. 2 updates. John, do you play that? Does this interest you?
I don't remember what the updates were.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Snipper Clips Plus coming out for the Switch, which I guess I don't know. It's cool. It's nice to see something that Nintendo like just launched coming out with a semi sequel. Like I don't know what 8 months later. I don't know. It's just like, hey guys, come on.
I played the demo for that with a friend. It's neat.
Yeah.
I'm not a puzzle game guy, but it seemed like it had a lot of personality to it, at least.
Yeah. Let's see. Kirby Star Allies coming to the Switch. That's another one I'm going to pick up because I think that'll be fun for me and my daughter, or just me by myself, if I'm going to be honest. So I'm a Kirby fan. I don't particularly care. Yeah. So I know they're nothing like great, but they're always like at least like kind of like I would say like middle tier at the worst case. So. And then when Kirby gets inventive, I think is when it gets best. Like that Mass Attack was a pretty good game. So. Arena of Valor, which is a MOBA, is coming to the Switch. I don't know. I mean, this game is huge in China, I believe. So,
MOBAs just don't interest me at all.
No, me neither. This is this like Batman is in this thing.
What?
Yeah, because some countries are a little bit more lax about copyright protection, so Batman is in this thing. So,
is it gonna be in the Switch version?
I doubt it, but
okay, that's what.
Yeah. So, okay. So if you're interested in puzzle games, which John, you just said not really that thing, but there's a new Layton game. Oh god, Layton's Mystery Journey Catriella and the Millionaire's Conspiracy. I just
nailed it.
Yeah. Those Layton games have never done anything for me. I don't know. Just a little too, I don't know, British, I suppose, for me.
Not a Monty Python guy?
Not particularly, no. They have their moments, but for the most part, that stuff kind of just water on a duck for me. So, all right, moving on. They showed off a little Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga and Bowser's Minions. I don't know. Like, I want to give it a shot. Because I remember liking the original, but I mean, I also played it like kind of when it first came out, so it was just...
I played it on my Game Boy Advance. That's what it came out on first, right?
Yeah.
I played. Yeah, I really liked that game. Way back in the day. So. Yeah.
Now, if they bring over partners in time, are you going to jump on board that? Because I know how much you love Baby Mario.
I might pass. I haven't.
Speaking of stuff we're probably going to pass on, if you're going to pass on Pokemon, how about passing on this? Yokai Watch 2 getting, oh god, just two more versions, or they're like updating the 2 versions that are out. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, Pokemon does it too. So
and then they're coming out with a 3rd version,
which called Soul Silver.
Well, I don't think they can call it that because Pokemon has a Soul Silver. So yeah. Anyway, that's if you're into Yokai Watch, there's more Yokai Watch coming for you. Man, there's a series whose like tail just fell off a cliff. I mean, I don't know. That was there was a lot of people who were like, "Oh, Pokemon's dead. This is gonna take over and kill Pokemon." And well, I think in the time that there's been 3 Yokai Watch games, there's been 4 Pokemon games, and those Pokemon games have had good long tails on them like they always do.
They need to make it a driving game, something called Yokai Watch Ghost Ride the Whip.
Well, I mean, I'd probably be more interested in it than I am now, so if it did that, but yeah, at least it's clever. So, okay, something that I want to play, I just don't think realistically I have the time for. Atrian Odyssey 5, Beyond the Myth. There's a demo on for it right now. That is a series I've always liked. I've just not had time to get into it as much as I would like.
I played the demo for the 4th one, actually.
Okay. See, I put about 35 or 40 hours into the 4th one, and I got to a point where my party wasn't really cutting it anymore, and I needed to bring or like level up another character to kind of proceed, and I was just like, I don't have the time to do this, so that's
I was curious about Persona Q, so I figured I'd try out a game that was similar to it, and it seemed all right. I was kind of into it, but I don't think I would put too many hours into it though. It's a little long for me.
Yeah, like I prefer kind of the hardcore aspect of Atrian Odyssey. It's just with so many other games to play, it's just this is like it. Let me I think like 15 years ago, Atrian Odyssey would have just been like my jam because it was one of those things like. I wasn't buying too many video games at the time, so this would have just been like, oh, good, I can play this and plunk away at it for, a year, basically. Whereas now it's like, time crunch, don't really have that option, so. Let me see. Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux coming early 2018, so that's something. I'm probably going to pass up on that one, honestly, so.
I heard that game's very hard. The original one is, at least.
That's most of the Shin Megami games.
Yeah, I've heard that one in particular is kind of rough, but
it's very hard.
There are so many Shin Megami games.
yeah. I mean, especially like if you kind of include Persona games being part of it.
You have to. It used to be Shin Megami Tensei Persona.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So Apollo Justice is coming to the 3DS. That's something I'll probably repurchase, even though I probably won't play it again. I bought the last two Phoenix Wright games. Haven't actually played them though. So, but I love that series enough that I kind of throw money at it just so it keeps coming out, basically. So. And finally, the ending bit of the Nintendo Direct was all Mario Odyssey stuff. John, you didn't get a chance to watch this because you kind of wanted to be surprised.
I saw one GIF of him of a dinosaur with his hat on, so I assume he took over that dinosaur's body and was running through the woods.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I saw the image of him without a shirt on that everyone was freaking out about. Because apparently people were surprised Mario has nipples.
Yeah. We'll say this, Mario was built like a barrel. I mean...
He also has a baby body with that. He has no hair on it whatsoever. It's for being an Italian.
But he still has a mustache. So what gives? What's going on?
He gets a lot of work. He gets a lot of work done.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I bet Luigi's just it's like a bear.
Yeah, he's got back hair coming out of.
What you don't know is that he's not wearing overalls. That's his hair that he dyes strategically.
Yeah. Luigi's a nudist. It just his hair is furry enough that it just covers everything, and he just dyes it so it looks like he's wearing clothes.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, yeah. And Mario's a never nude, so.
He also doesn't have a belly button in that picture, but it might just be because his swim trunks are hiked up super high.
Mario's old. You got to remember that as you get older, you go up high. Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a belly button in the picture.
Yeah.
But it's not true that when you get older, it disappears?
Yeah, it does. It goes. It's kind of like...
It falls out.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in there.
Like the smaller your belly button,
if you have an innie, there's
older
nothing in
you
there.
are.
But if you have an outie, it falls out.
Just pops right out.
Crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think it about wraps it up there. So let's go ahead and end that news there. So anyway, John, what are you gonna be playing the next week?
Destiny 2. I gotta say on brand really quick. This next weekend, Overwatch is a free weekend. For anyone interested. Okay. So gotta keep my brand strong.
There you go. Yeah. Even though you're not gonna be playing it, you're gonna be playing Destiny 2.
Add me on the PSN, and we'll ride out together.
You want to on Destiny or Overwatch? What are we talking about right now?
Destiny Dose.
Destiny Dose. All right. What's your power level, sir?
38.
All right. We'll make it work.
John, it sounds like maybe you're a little above him.
I have a second character that's right where he's at. So it's like...
How do I do? And this is going to give me away, but how do I do the story missions in the game? Like if I just want to do the story, how do I do that?
They should be highlighted on the map.
What kind of highlight do they have? At the moment, I'm doing adventure missions. Are they story missions?
They are side quests with some story in them. They flesh out stuff.
It's confusing. You go down there and like there's just stuff. There's little blippity blops everywhere to walk to. I don't know what's going on.
There's a little. I think it's a little expectation that you've played the first one somewhat, but it's actually way more intuitive than the first one was even.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's less stuff on the map now.
Okay.
The story missions are marked by the red legion symbol. It's just red, and it's like a double archway thing.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Kind of like a little military epaulet thing.
Yeah, those are all the main story missions.
Oh,
It's about a 10-hour campaign. So.
Is it as good as Halo 3?
It had mission design wise, I think it's on par with the best Halos. Some of the best Halo missions.
Okay, all right. Because that's what I'm looking for. Like the shooting in that game is second to none. Really, it feels
wonderful.
Very, very good.
So fucking good.
But everything around it, I find completely overwhelming, and I think the game assumes a lot of prior knowledge there, right?
Yeah, somewhat, especially in the story. And was a lot of you'll come across a lot of factions in the story that they don't really explain very well because they.
Oh no, I don't care about that. I mean, like in terms of getting me to the story, I don't know how to initiate.
Oh
it,
yeah. So
I'll talk to these guys and they'll be like, "Oh, go take the banner and bring it into the sewer," and I'll be like, "Okay, is that going to get me to the next the next cutscene?"
Whenever you do the story mission, just follow the white arrow. That'll get you where.
By the way, the answer to that question
was
the answer to that question is whether bringing the banner into the sewer got me to the next cutscene. Well, the answer was no. It did not. It did give me a chest, which gave me a gun. One thing that was crazy is I didn't realize that you could take multiple things from the quest vendors when you finish the quest, and so I took like 6 of these stupid guns, and now I've got 6 duplicate guns, and I don't know how do I sell guns. This is not the time or place. Never mind.
I'll tell you. I can tell you.
This is. Don't go near Destiny 2, people. It's a
great game. It's great.
I'll take your advice under advisement.
One of the best cooperative experiences of all time. All right, that's been a show this week. It's
been a hell of a show, boys. So all right. That'll wrap that up. So you know where to find us on the internet. Just do all the things as far as social media goes. If you have any feedback, you can always whatever, do it there.
Subtweet us, quote tweet us,
tweet us.
Get out of my ads, bro. Whatever. I don't know.
Get into my DMs, bros.
I believe you can slide out
of my DMs.
Oh, slide into my. It's only sliding into DMs if it's dirty.
Oh.
Yeah, if it's of a sexual nature.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want any eggplants in my DMs. Is what I'm saying.
Eggplants and water drops. You don't want that.
All right. Well, I'm officially creeped out, so let's go ahead and end this nightmare, and we'll